And as I said earlier, we will be diving deep into the exciting head-to-head between the Oklahoma City Thunder Check and the Indiana Pacers in the NBA Finals.
And to help us with that, we've got our good friend Leigh Ellis of ESPN Australia for a preview of tomorrow's matchup. He joins us live from Atlanta, Georgia. Good evening from Manila, Leigh. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Anytime, guys. Great to see you again. It's been a while, Jessica, but it's great to be back on the airwaves with you.
So good to see you. All right, but we've got a lot to talk about. Let's get to it. OKC, what is their advantage over Indiana?
Well, they have several advantages. I mean, they're obviously at home. They had the best record. They had the best offense and defense. They had a great net rating. So they're well rested. They're favourite. They're deep. They've got the MVP. They've got lots of things going their way. But, of course, that doesn't automatically translate to a simple victory, as we've seen throughout these playoffs. Lots of teams have won having not had home court advantage and caused the upset. You only have to look at the Eastern Conference. The fact the Indiana Pacers had to go on the road twice and win. They had to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were equal favourite with the Boston Celtics, and they didn't even have to face the Boston Celtics because the New York Knicks took out the Boston Celtics in the round prior. So once again, the Pacers had to go on the road and win, and they've done that. These teams are very, very even across the board in the way that they score and the way that they run. Their offenses are both very good. Their defenses are very good. But, you know, the Oklahoma City Thunder deserve to be in this position where they are the favourite because they've had such an incredible season. And they've had a, somewhat tough playoff road there. That series against the Denver Nuggets was a 7-gamer. But then they really showed against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They flexed their muscles just how good they are at both ends. So lots of things to like about the Oklahoma City Thunder, but I certainly don't think this is just going to be a breeze for them, because having experienced the Indiana Pacers up close, I know they are a very good team as well. They're very deep, they're very well coached, and so it should be a really fun, exciting series.
Well, Leigh, obviously, OKC, heavy favorites here, and as Czechs led with that, asking for the advantages of OKC. We all know SGA will show up. He is the MVP after all. He had that that hyped-up matchup with Ant-Man. He obviously won the series. In the regular season, he scored 25 in that first game against Indiana, and then in March, he scored 33. But aside from SGA, who do you want to see step up, or probably see will be the X factor here? Might be the Chet Holmgrens of the world, Jalen Williams of the world, but who in your mind do you think will be the one stepping up?
Well, I think it could be two guys. I think it could be the Hartenstein in the middle there. I mean, he's been very effective. He came over as a free agent from the New York Knicks. But the one I'm really going to focus on is Alex Caruso, because he is just such an incredible, important part of what the Thunder does. He plays incredible defense. We saw him in that last series, or the second last series against the Denver Nuggets, where he was defending Nikola Jokic at times. He can also defend the point guard. I expect him to spend time on Tyrese Halliburton because he's such a tough player to go against anybody. And then on the offensive end, we know he can hit those big shots. We know he can run the offense if needed. And he just does everything that a coach needs, where you don't necessarily have to even define a role for him. He just goes out there and plays hard. So Alex Caruso was an incredible pickup for the Thunder. They got him in the trade last year with Josh Giddey.
Yep.
Josh Giddey, of course, the reason they traded him away was because he couldn't really shoot. He couldn't play in those fourth quarters. Well, Alex Caruso is the complete opposite. He does absolutely everything for this team, and I expect he's going to have a very, very big impact on this series.
Leigh, let's talk about Chet Holmgren. He's been huge here in the playoffs. He didn't play in those 2 regular season games, and OKC yet still won that game, Czech. But here, Holmgren has been beasting and feasting, and that's the thing. Indiana loves to run. Here's a guy from OKC side who's long, athletic, loves to run on both sides of the floor. How will Holmgren be a factor here for OKC, because Indiana hasn't faced him all season long?
Yeah, and they don't really have a matchup for him either, which is going to be tough because Miles Turner is their big. Now, he can get out there and defend, but if he's out there, that does leave a bit of a hole in the middle, and that's why I referred to Hartenstein earlier as well. That's where he could potentially feast if they don't have a second big out there on the floor at all times. Now, Chet Holmgren, we know, he can shoot those threes. He's got a nice little mid-ranger. He can put it on the floor. He's a very, very skilled player, and he didn't play those 2 games because he was injured. That's the only sort of thing that's holding him back so far in his career, that he has been injured a couple of times. He missed his entire rookie season. But when he's on the floor, he is such a tough matchup for any team to go against. And then on the defensive end, he just adds another presence. Of course, being that long and that lanky, you know, he can defend the rim. He can defend the perimeter. So he's a very, very important piece. And another reason, another factor why the Thunder are just so good at both ends, because anytime you've got a 7'4" guy out there who can knock down those threes or get inside, it's very, very hard to defend against.
All right, let's head over to the other side. The Pacers have always banked on a balanced attack on offense, and we've seen how they can dictate a fast-paced tempo for the game. But, you know, it was enough to get them to the finals, but will it be enough against OKC?
Well, it certainly is going to be a great test for them. And one of the things that really impressed me in their series against the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks was just how deep they were. Rick Carlisle really goes 8, 9, 10 guys. You know, guys like Ben Shepherd, Benedict Mathurin had some really important games. Even Jerace Walker, who came out and played some important minutes. Now, he's not going to be playing in those first 2 games. He's out injured. But, you know, it's Neesmith, it's Nembhard. All these guys can do really well at both ends. They can defend and they can hit those threes. So even if someone like, say, Tyrese Halliburton gets in a little bit of foul trouble, let's say, he doesn't usually do it, but let's say he does, well, TJ McConnell can come out and run the point, but they can also still keep up their defensive intensity and, most importantly, their offensive pace, because that's how they really killed the Knicks. They just, every time the New York Knicks scored or the Pacers just got a rebound, in transition, Indiana was very, very good. Pascal Siakam is just on another level right now. He's been playing some of the best basketball of his life, and he just gets out and runs. And that's what all the Pacers love to do. Spread the floor, run the fast break as quick as they can. If they get a high percentage look in the paint, they take that. But if not, again, it's guys like Ben Shepherd and Neesmith and Nembhard and Mathurin. They can all hit the threes. So they're very, very good. And that is going to be the key, I think, to the Pacers staying close here with the Thunder. Thunder's defense is outstanding, no question about it. But the Indiana Pacers' offensive pace and efficiency is also very, very good. So one of them is going to succeed here. Exactly which one, we'll find out. But I think this series is going to probably have a few swings like that. And at times we're going to see both teams, playing to their strengths. Tyrese Halliburton as well. I mean, he is just a phenomenal player. He doesn't always need to go out there and score 25 or 30 points. He can impact the game in so many ways. And as we saw again against the New York Knicks, when the game's on the line, Tyrese Halliburton wants that ball in his hands. He's very ready for the moment, and he's so much fun to watch. So I really like what I've seen from the Indiana Pacers so far. If they can play their game, that is certainly going to help them. And remember, they've been very, very good on the road in the playoffs. Outstanding. They won the first 2 games against the Knicks in New York and the same against Cleveland, who had won 64 games this season. So the Pacers are not concerned that they have to go to OKC for these first 2 games thinking they can't win. They've proven they're a very, very good road team.
Okay, well, now we have to put you on the spot.
He's used to it.
So
being on the hot seat.
We have to ask. Who do you have in this series and in how many games?
You can start with game 1 first and then and then go in the series. We'll be nice to you.
So no. Listen, I think I love putting myself out there because why not? I mean, this is what we do. And again, I've been so impressed by both teams, and I do think all those factors I mentioned off the top: home court, MVP, great offense, great defense. I think it gives OKC the advantage. It gives them the edge, no question about it. So I think they do win game 1. I think they do take care of it. But I'll say this, I think the Pacers get game 2 because I think the Pacers have been fantastic. And I think we're going to see at different times throughout this series, both teams looking in control and the other team sort of looking like, oh, maybe we're not quite sure about them. So I think it's going to be a long series. I'm taking the Thunder, but in 7 games. I think that's where home court advantage is going to help them. They've been very good against the East all season long. But again, I was fortunate to witness all of those Pacers-Knicks games up close. I've been following the Pacers a lot this season. I think they're a very good team. And I think Rick Carlisle's done an incredible job coaching them. They're tough. They know how to hit threes, and they're ready for the big moment. And again, as I said, they're very good on the road. So I'll take the Thunder in game 1, the Thunder in 7, but I think we head to Indiana for game 3 at a split 1-1.
Wow, heavy takes. That's why we love having Leigh Ellis on this show. Okay, Leigh, before we let you go, we wish we had more time. We always tell that basically to the guests that we love talking
every
to.
single guest because we love talking to our guests.
That's true, though. I know we're all very talkative. Okay, Leigh, I just want to we just want to get your quick reaction. Commissioner Adam Silver did say that next year's All-Star game will feature Team USA versus Team World. So imagine a lineup with Luka, SGA, you have Giannis, Wemby, Jokic against Curry, Durant, LeBron, Ant-Man, maybe AD. Your thoughts on that format?
Well, I think this is the last sort of chance, really, for the All-Star game to remain competitive because everything else that Adam Silver and the league has tried simply hasn't worked. The players just don't compete. But now there's a bit more nationalistic pride on the line where we all know that the USA is still the number one sport. Basketball is still the number one game, and they are the gold medalists. They're the champions, and they deserve to have that credibility. But finally, the rest of the world now will get a shot to at least say, okay, let's see if we can take on the USA. Because look, the last 7 seasons, we've had an international-born MVP. In fact, the top 3 have all been international-born. So there's no question that the talent is there now. This is not like some sort of charity to say, all right, let's just see if we can get more internationals into the game. You're going to get a very, very good, deep roster of international players. I just hope there's a couple of Australians on there, like my man Josh Giddey or Dyson Daniels. That'd be great. Maybe they won't make it next season, but the way that those guys have been playing, we'll see it soon. But one thing, just before I go, guys, I just wanted to share this. I wanted,
yes.
Hey.
There's that picture when Leigh Ellis came here, played basketball. We see Nico Ramos there. We see a lot of guys there, of course, and a lot wow.
I see Kat.
It's nice that you have that. You have that there.
That's awesome.
At the tenement, by the way.
That was yeah. Shout out to my girl, Kat Tan, the one-armed Mamba. She was, man.
Yes.
What an inspiration she's been in my life. And, man, she's incredible. That video with her and Kobe, man, like, oh, man, it brings tears to my eyes even just thinking about it. So, yeah, I had so much fun in the Philippines and hope I return, not just to Manila as well. I know there's so much more to the country than just Manila. I would love to experience more and get some buckets along the way.
Well, just let us know when you're coming out of here.
Check's got you, man. You can stay at her house, at her place. I'll be your chauffeur. Leigh,
man,
miss you, buddy.
Andres,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Okay,
Leigh.
cheers, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk
Thanks,
to you again
guys.
probably throughout the series. Again, that was ESPN Australia's basketball reporter, formerly one of the starters. Remember that show? That was Leigh Ellis. Always a brilliant basketball mind joining us on the show.